In this video, I'm identifying 10 of my favorite Bordeaux that cost $40 or less. Recently, I prepared a top 10 video with respect to $40 wines generally, and in the course of researching that video, I kept stumbling across excellent Bordeaux after excellent Bordeaux. And so rather than including Bordeaux in that video, I decided to come up with a list of 10 Bordeaux at $40 and prepared this separate video. This video just goes to show how much value there is in Bordeaux right now. I'm really super excited about all these picks and think they offer very, very good value for this price. The first top Bordeaux for $40 or less comes from the right bank of Bordeaux, specifically from Saint-Emilion. The producer is Chateau Laroque. This one sells for only $35. This is a wine that was previously sold only in France, and this producer opted not to participate in the en primeur process, or the process by which they sell futures. So for that reason, it's flown a little bit under the radar, but it's definitely available in the United States now, and it's one that I highly recommend. This wine is 97% Merlot and 3% Cab Franc. This producer uses a very, very strict selection, so only 41% of their fruit makes it into this top wine. They use organic farming principles in the vineyard. This is definitely a wine with some elegance. It's one that you can enjoy now with some air, but it will be best after 5 to 7 years, and it will last up to 2 decades. This is an absolute steal at this price. You can buy with confidence any vintage from 2015 through 2020 of this wine from Chateau Laroque. The next top Bordeaux for $40 or less comes from Bordeaux's left bank. This is actually a 5th growth in the 1855 classification, and it's from Pauillac. Specifically, I'm talking about Chateau Grand Puy Ducasse. This chateau was sold in 2004. Following the sale, the new owners embarked on a modernization project. Then in 2013, they hired a consultant from legendary producer Chateau Angelus in Saint-Emilion. Following some advice from this consultant, this producer began optical sorting and uses a much more strict selection than previously, so the fruit quality is much higher. In addition, they started using cement eggs for vinification, which added some more minerality to the wines. The vineyards are planted to 64% Cabernet, with the rest being Merlot. They're located in a high-class neighborhood, as some of their vineyards border Mouton, Lafite Rothschild, and Pontet Canet. Due to the initiatives put in place by their consultant, quality for this wine improved dramatically beginning with the 2015 vintage and has been strong ever since. I recently found a pre-sale offer for the 2020 vintage for only $38, and that's an extremely favorable price for a wine of this caliber. This one is quite structured, however, so it's one you're going to need to put away for 7 to 8 years before you can enjoy it. But for this price, you absolutely cannot beat the quality. The next top Bordeaux for $40 or less is a Cru Bourgeois producer from Saint-Estèphe. Specifically, I'm talking about Chateau Tronquoy-Lalande. This chateau was purchased around 2006, and the new owners embarked on a €10 million modernization project. Among other things, they began a far more strict selection of fruit for this top wine. They also purchased substantial new vineyards, and they now have 30 hectares of total vineyards. These initiatives paid dividends, and now they're producing quality wines year after year. This is a Bordeaux blend that consists of 4 varieties typically, specifically about 52% Merlot, 39% Cabernet Sauvignon, 6% Petit Verdot, and 3% Cabernet Franc. This is one that you can enjoy young, but will age for 15 to 20 years. The next top Bordeaux for $40 or less is another classified growth Bordeaux. This time we're talking about a 4th growth from Margaux, namely Chateau Prieure-Lichine. This winery was purchased by a negociant in 1999. Following that acquisition, many of the vineyards were replanted. They have around 77 hectares under vine currently. The vines are planted to 50% Cabernet Sauvignon, 45% Merlot, and 5% Petit Verdot. So they've removed all the Cabernet Franc and no longer include that in any of their wines. They've been employing sustainable farming practices. This is one that's generally better with 8 to 10 years of age on it, so it's not one that you want to pop right away. Also, they've been on an upswing beginning about 2015 or so it's better to buy some of their newer vintages. Specifically, I would buy 2015 to the present, and also 2009 and 2010. This is one that's generally more than $40, but before producing this video, I did find it online for $39 on pre-sale. That was for the 2020 vintage. If you're getting value from these picks, please go ahead and smash that like button so this video gets distributed to more viewers, and please do subscribe to my channel. That really does help me a lot, and I greatly appreciate it. Shifting gears to Bordeaux's right bank, the next top Bordeaux for $40 or less comes from Chateau Corbin. Chateau Corbin has 12 hectares of vineyards in Saint-Emilion. These vineyards are planted to 92% Merlot and 8% Cabernet Franc. These vineyards are located close to Pomerol and not so far from Chateau Cheval Blanc. Some of these Cabernet Franc vines are almost 60 years old, which is certainly very impressive. The average age of their vines overall is close to 30 years. This is another one that's been on a hot streak, and every vintage from 2015 through 2020 is well worth seeking out. This is another one where I saw an offer for pre-sale for only $36 or so. So certainly an excellent buy at that price. This is one that should be aged for 5 to 7 years, and then after that you can enjoy it for another decade. The next Bordeaux for $40 or less comes from Chateau Pichon-Baronne. It's their second wine. This name is a mouthful. Chateau Pichon-Longueville-Baronne Tourelle de Longueville. This wine is named for the turrets on the chateau. I saw a futures offer for this one for $39 and change. This wine is typically a blend of around 64% Merlot, 29% Cabernet Sauvignon, and 7% Cabernet Franc. There's only 30% new French oak used for this wine. Given that limited amount of new French oak and the substantial percentage of Merlot, this is one that's enjoyable when it's young. It's a good idea to give it a few years, but it's definitely one that you should enjoy within the first decade after harvest. I was really very surprised to find so many classified growth Bordeaux selling for $40 or less. My next top Bordeaux for $40 or less is another classified growth producer, this time a fourth growth from Saint-Estèphe. Specifically, I'm talking about Chateau Lafon-Rochet. Chateau Lafon-Rochet has about 41 hectares of vineyards. They're planted to 57% Cabernet Sauvignon, 37% Merlot, 4% Petit Verdot, and 2% Cabernet Franc. These vines average about 37 years of age, but they do have some old vine Merlot that's almost 80 years old. These vineyards are located in a high-class neighborhood, as they're located near Côte d'Estournel and Chateau Lafite Rothschild. This is another one where there was an overhaul of the vineyards in the cellar. This project was completed about 6 or 7 years ago, and there's been an upswing in quality since that time. Once again, the vintages from 2015 through 2020 are outstanding. This is another one where I found a pre-sale offer for $40 or less. So it's definitely one that's worth seeking out on this pre-sale opportunity. It's a good idea to give this one a few years of age, but it's definitely another one you'll want to enjoy within the first 10 years. Chateau Poja, formerly known as Chateau Haute-Valais, is my next Bordeaux for $40 or less. This chateau was purchased in 2014, and again the new owners embarked on a substantial renovation project. There's a little less than 10 hectares of vineyards. Chateau Poja is located in Saint-Emilion, so it's on the right bank of Bordeaux. The vineyards are planted to 70% Merlot, 20% Cabernet Franc, and 10% Cabernet Sauvignon. These vineyards are located on an elevated plateau, and the soils are clay and limestone. This producer implemented sustainable farming practices following the acquisition. They still have fairly low production, so this is definitely one you may need to seek out a little bit. They are currently only producing about 800 cases. 2014 through 2020 are all very worthy vintages, especially 16, 18, 19, and 20. If you shop around, you should be able to find this one for even less than $40 a bottle. I did also find an offer for 2020 futures at only $33 a bottle, and this is certainly a wine that you can't beat for that price. Going back to Bordeaux's left bank, my next top Bordeaux at $40 or less comes from Saint-Estèphe. Specifically, the producer is Chateau Lilian Ladouys. Lilian Ladouys has about 80 hectares of vineyards. These vineyards are planted to 50% Merlot, 45% Cabernet Sauvignon, 4% Petit Verdot, and 1% Cabernet Franc. These vineyards are planted all over the appellation in a patchwork, and so the benefit of this is they do get varying soils. This can help to add complexity to their wines. This producer utilizes organic farming methods, and they will be certified organic beginning with 2023. If you're looking for specific vintages, 2009 and 10 are excellent, and you can also buy with confidence from 2014 through 2020. This is another one that's better with a few years of bottle age. It's not one that you want to hold for more than 15 or 20 years. Les Petit de Ducru Beaucaillou, formerly known as Lalande Bory, is my next top Bordeaux for $40 or less. This one is essentially a third wine from legendary producer Ducru Beaucaillou. This is a blend of Merlot and Cabernet Sauvignon, and sometimes they add a little bit of Petit Verdot. They aged this one for about 12 months in barrel, only about 1/3 of which is new. I found this one online at a number of places for $40, and it's certainly a compelling value at that price. This is one that you can enjoy young, with just a little bit of bottle age, and you would want to finish within 10 years after harvest. If you're interested in other wines for $40 or less, please be sure to check out this video.